Welcome to Because You Need to Know. I am Edwin K. Morris, President and founder of Pioneer Knowledge Services. This series is your digital resource of valuable conversations with nonprofit and knowledge management enthusiasts from across industries and from around the globe. Hello and greetings, everyone. I am Edwin K. Morris, and I want to take a little time here just to share a little story that I think is poignant as organizations and people continue to struggle and or exceed their capacities some days in dealing with lots of things. In an industry that I used to work in, which was the sawmill, lumber, logging, the old style of sawmill, there was an individual that ran the head saw, which turned round logs into cut lumber, turned that into flat boards. So you have to put the log onto a carriage, and the head sawyer has to look at the log and think of that as a cylinder that has to go into flat boards. So there's a couple considerations. They have to look at the faces of the logs. As they rotate it, they'll look for knots, defects, things like that, because they have to understand what the yield is in the way lumber is graded. So they're cutting for the best quality they can, so they try to turn the log to give the best face. And then the saw is then engaged, the carriage goes forward, and the board is cut off or slabbed off. The saw itself is the head sawyer's job to keep ready, sharp, and running right, because they're the ones looking right at it. They're seeing everything good, bad, or indifferent in the performance. The product of that effort to manage the best yield and the work of the saw, of the mill, takes into effect a little maintenance. So think of your organization, if you're continually worried about production and not thinking about the downtime, the off-fall of your efforts, sometimes it's easy to get lost. Keep a note that in this story, the season of winter, these logs tend to get coated with mud, which then freezes. These are all things that dull a saw quickly. So sometimes the sawyer, the head sawyer, will put the log on the carriage and see that it's covered with mud or frozen mud, which is worse. He'll take time to go grab a hand axe and chop off as much as he can that frozen mud or dirt to prevent the head saw becoming dull and ineffective or actually damaging. So the individual will take the time to chop off all that excess to increase efficiency. Use that story when you think of your organization, your work. There's an old saying that is a Pennsylvania Dutch saying, which says, "The hurrieder I go, the more behinder I get." Think of that next time when you're in a hurry, how much you could have saved beforehand, and the efficiencies that can come from that. Be kind to each other, and we will see you around the knowledge management nonprofit world. Because You Need to Know is designed to bring people's experience and their knowledge forward to be shared. I'm Edwin K. Morris, and I thank you for joining in to listen to another conversation brought to you as a public service of Pioneer Knowledge Services, a nonprofit tax-exempt organization with a charitable knowledge management purpose. Find us online at pioneer-ks.org and add your voice to the conversation on Facebook.